like, subscribe, press the bell icon for more updates. For more videos, download our app from Play Store. Faculty Diploma Program. Welcome to first session of automation testing using Java and Selenium.
It is my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all the respected professors, teachers on behalf of PHN Technology Private Limited. Thank you for joining us today for the very first session of this faculty diploma program on Java plus Selenium. As you all know, technology is evolving at a rapid pace, and we at PHN Technology Private Limited are committed to staying ahead of the curve and providing innovative solutions to our clients. I'm thrilled to introduce to you about our company, the exciting opportunities that we offer. As you might be knowing, we started as a robotics company in 2013, but we have since evolved in dynamic software development and IT firm, as well as in business solutions, digital marketing, Android development, web development, and in IoT development. At PHN Technology Private Limited, we believe that providing innovative solutions and excellent service is not enough. We strive to exceed our clients' expectations by going beyond their requirements and delivering transformative solutions that enable them to solve their problems. So thank you for your time and consideration. We look forward to working with you and providing you with the innovative solutions that will transform your practices into knowledge. For today's session, we have Ms. Nishigandha ma'am with us as a trainer. Ms. Nishigandha has 7+ years of IT industry experience, primarily work in telecom, banking, audit, and consulting domain for the client-facing assignments, knowledge of Java, Selenium, Python, Jenkins. She worked on web automation, mobile automation, API testing, API automation with rest assured. So I'm handing over this session to Ms. Nishigandha. Ma'am, continue.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Ankita. So I hope everyone is comfortable. Just let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ankita. So once again, a very warm welcome and good morning to all. I am Nishigandha. Today I am here to explain you about the automation testing and how the testing industry is evolving around from manual to automation and new technologies coming in. I would like to thank PHN Technologies for inviting me here to share my knowledge. I am overwhelmed and very happy to share what I know to the people, and they can delegate the information to further. So thank you, PHN Technologies. So first of all, I already Ankita explained about myself, but still I would like to tell you a bit about me. So I have graduated from Government College of Engineering, Karad, in information technology domain. Then I started my career with the testing. Like, in fact, at start of my career only was with the automation testing. In 7+ year of span, I have worked with the 3 different organizations and multiple technologies. So first, I got a chance to work with the Java Selenium. Currently, I am working with the Python and Selenium automation. Also, I got a chance to work on the mobile automation, which was quite an interesting thing for me, because the same script that I was developing was working on different platforms like Android phones, tablets, at Mac machines, etc. Also, with coming to the DevOps tools, I have experience into the Jenkins and Azure DevOps. I have done API testing manually with the Postman, also API testing automation with the rest assured. So this is a bit about my experience, and the domain I have covered till now with the telecom, primarily, then banking, and now into the audits and consulting. So moving forward, today's session basically will start with what is the testing, how the testing industry is evolving, what are the changes has came in recent years, what is automation, the primary and widely used automation tool, that is Selenium, how it works, and at the basic framework types and a few of the coding technologies I'll explain. Yeah, apart from that, if you have any questions, please note it down at the start itself. Time will be given at the end to clear your doubts. Please keep in mind that point. So the separate time is allocated for that. And if you agree in between to any of my points, you can give thumbs up always. So that will be welcomed. And so I hope everyone listens to me patiently, and I will be able to share my knowledge further. Okay. Yeah. What is testing basically, and why it is required? If you see in this image, like how industries works are like the customer comes with the requirement to the set of people which are technical or which are working into the industry, and there will be a bunch of people who are just taking the requirements. There will be a bunch of people who are actually developing the products or working on that with the different type of technologies being there. And along with that, and there will be a delivery happening. So if you go to the market, you know that we whatever we buy, we always try to check the quality of the product. We always try to check if it is a defective or a good product, the durability of product, right? So why it is just not applicable to your day-to-day life or the products that you buy. It is applicable to the software industry, mechanical industry, electronics industry, everywhere. The validation and verifications will be happening. So as you see in the image, one customer comes with a requirement to the industry that some sort of product they are needing. And now there are some industry peoples like POs or BAs. They are trying to understand the requirement of customer, and further they are transforming this information to the people, those who are working on ground level with their skills, and then the products will be developed. So all three images into the picture are depicting a different thing. So what is missing in this picture? The major part missing is picture is validations and verification. What was the customer's requirement? That is not being tested here. So what's the use of development of product? At the end, customer is not satisfied, right? So it is just if you check, if you see at this example, it is just one swing that needs to be hanged on the tree. Okay, but in this thing, if these many mistakes can happen, you can imagine at larger level. For example, if the software that is being used into the flight is having glitch or some problem, or the radiotherapy machine that is being tested on the patients that have some bugs, so it will have major impact, right? It would cause the death of the people. So the testing is required and very important. If you take a day-to-day example of the banking application or the banking website, if there is any problem, the lifetime saving of the one person could go or mismatch, and then no one will believe in banking system, right? So for that purpose, testing is required. Thorough testing is required. From end-to-end testing is required in every aspect, from UI to the internal part, back-end, the information functional testing, everything is required in every aspect. So as a development is as development plays a major part into any industry, at the same time testing is also important, and needs to be done at every for every software, every product and everything. Okay, so I hope everyone is able to relate to myself. Let's move forward. Okay, so till now we discussed about the day-to-day benefits and why testing is required. But if you think on the larger perspective, from the industry perspective or IT companies perspective, what testing does, how testing is benefiting the IT industries, and why there are so much requirement into the testing is just because whenever you deliver a quality product which is being thoroughly tested and have a very good interface, very good user satisfaction, will always lead to the delivering top quality product to the customers. That automatically comes with the customer satisfaction, that automatically comes with the more requirement to your industry, and that automatically turns into the more benefit and more efficient way of way of activities or using the software. So that's why the automatically the organizational productivity will be increased. And when we do the thorough testing means we also do the safety testing as well. So the secure very with the good very having the very good interface with higher customer satisfaction, good user experience, the top quality product will be delivered to the customer, and hence the customer will be happy. So the development team and the testing team or the industries will have the more benefits. Okay, now let's move forward. So till now we understood why testing is required, what is there into it, who all people are needed that. But see, whenever any terms come, there should be some methodologies to apply that. There should be some ways that is being worked upon. There should be ways that how the process is being streamlined. So basically these are testing models, we can say the testing methodologies as well. There are 5 majorly used: waterfall, agile, spiral, V, or iterative. But I'll just discuss about the major of them, and I will try to tell the difference. So waterfall model is basically a very traditional approach, not being anymore used into the industries because it is a quite a time consuming. Waterfall, as a name suggests, actually it works from the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like that. Like first the requirement gathering will be done, then the requirement analysis. And when the analysis will be completed, that will be given to for the development. After development is completed, that will be tested, and after testing is done, that will go to the maintenance part, or if any bugs or issues are there, then again it will go back and the same process will be followed again. So if, looking at it itself, you will able to find the drawback of it, right? It is a quite a time consuming process until the developer develops, until the process analysis is done. The testing team is waiting. They are just trying to wait, or they are just wasting their time. So in this process, time taken for delivery of product is more, as the output of the phase 1 has to be given to the input for the phase 2, and so on. It is automatically turns into the more time and more efforts needed to do that. And if the bugs or issues are not being solved at the same time, it does not lead to delivering the efficient project. It will always has its own drawbacks and mistakes happen into that. Coming to the next model, that is agile. Agile is my one of the favorite methodology. I'll tell you the reason why. Because agile basically works like everyone in the team will start working at the same time. Okay, and agile is the model, like they don't wait to complete the whole product, or they don't wait to come the complete requirement. Agile is basically when customer comes with the requirement, the features are created. Further, those features are divided into the stories, and those stories in turn divided into those tasks. So looking at it itself looks easy, right? There is a one big feature that is divided into the sub stories, and that is divided into the sub tasks. So whenever any person work on it, like it is already organized way of working, so anyone will feel happy to work in that environment. So I'll tell you more about how agile works. Basically, in agile, there is a one scrum master who is taking care of all the activities. There is a PR business who are taking the requirement from the customer. There is a development there is a testing team. So testing, when we come to the testing involves manual as well as the automation according to what they have adapted. Okay, so in the agile environment, the 2 weeks of sprint, that is 15 days of sprint will be given. And in that one feature or any like number of features will be decided into the sprint planning first itself, that how many features to take into this sprint, how many to work, what are feasible, what can be completed into a span of the 15 days. So first, these all people sit together, testers also involved into this process from the start of the process. So they sit together, analyze the requirement, they create the features, and only 15 days periods, the feature that could be completed into that period of time, that only will be taken. And if it is a big one, that is again divided and to pass on to the next sprint. So, and then there will be a daily scrum meetings happening. So on day one, everyone will analyze their task, what they have to done, and they will start the planning. So next day, from that day, remaining 14 days, every morning they will be connecting who is facing what issue, what are the requirements, how to develop, everything will start. And whenever developer starts working on it, at the same time tester will start designing of it. Isn't it amazing? Before delivering the feature, we are trying to design, we are not executing, we don't have yet the product execution, but we can design when developer is developing it. So the process makes the job of everyone easy. It saves a lot of time, basically, first of all. And at the end of the sprint, like at the end of every sprint, there will be a retrospective. Basically, retrospective means in that 15 days period of time, everyone will be checking like what went wrong, what went right, what we need to improve into the next sprint, what we can take this from sprint to the next sprint, like the process, what is good happen in that sprint, that will be a forwarded to ahead. So Agile is widely used, basically everyone these days is using. Also there are new methodologies are coming in which are more feasible, but currently this is the majorly used methodology into the every IT industry. Okay, and we'll let you know about only the spiral model, V model, and iterative model, what it is. So spiral model is basically the one sphere into that spiral model is one development cycle. So whenever developer is developing, tester is testing and analysis at the same time, everything is happening, bug raising and the stuff. And one sphere defines the development of a feature. The count of sphere decides the cost of the project. What I have heard from the spiral is the cost, as we are working on the spiral structure, the cost at the end of the spiral model is a bit of more. And V model is the exponential linear format of the waterfall model, where the development team is working separately and testing team is working separately, and the work is going on. At the end, they are coordinating, and so on. So this is about the testing modules currently being used. Okay, now moving forward. If you know, like every day we hear, right? World is changing, change is constant. Be the change that you want to be. Correct. There are some sayings like that. So change is always required, and if it comes to the technology, change is it happens. Technology changes in blink of eye. You never know what is happening. There are a lot of background things are happening. People are working to automate everything. People are working to do the life of people easy. So that's why the automation. And now the very interesting image you can see onto the screen. One person is sitting who looks quite boring or like unhappy, and at the right side the person is very comfortable with his work and happy, he's enjoying his work. So why so? So we will try to see why so. First of all, the person who is working on manual, he has piles of file at the background, if you see, and his time is ticking. He don't have much time, but still he has to do his work. So basically, manual, what is manual testing? Manual testing is whatever the process, whatever the steps that person has to do by his own, by human. So, and validations and verification done on any sort of platform by a human is called as manual testing. And what is automation testing is the testing, the processes that are done by manual testing, which are automated, streamlined by software tools, which is already defined, and only a minimal amount of intervention by the person is needed. That's why it is already streamlined, and the person is the person looks really happy, right? So first drawback is it leads to the lot of labor work, the manual testing. Second thing is human are tend to make the mistake. Like no one is perfect. There are chances that you could miss something, and always as his time is ticking, there is a guarantee that he will miss something. Or the boring task, no one loves the boring task, right? So repetitively doing one task, at some time you will miss something, next time you will capture that, but again in the next phase you can miss something. But in the automation testing, as the process is already defined, already format is decided, which is already taught to the automation tool that you have to do this or you have to perform this, there are very less chances of mistake. Okay. Coming to the cost, actually at the start manual cost is very low, because there is no requirement of setup, no softwares are needed, no skilled employees are needed. In manual, anyone means I see like any college pass out can go and work into the manual testing, or any person who is not having the background of IT industry, they can also work into the manual testing. So initial investment is low, initial cost is low, but return of investment is also very low. So which is not beneficial to anyone. But in case of automation, at the start, the cost is higher because setup needs to be done, tools need to be buy, sometimes license also needs to be buy. And the skilled employees are needed. So whenever there is a need of skilled employees, there will be higher cost. But at the end, the return of investment is also very high. So that's why automation is needed. That's why automation has the more importance, and that's why every industry, every company, every organization wants to move to the automation. The only benefit from the manual I see here is that you can actually take a feedback from the person who is working on. In case of automation, that tools don't tell you, right, what is happening. They don't speak with us, they just generate the reports. We can only see into the reports. So wherever comes the requirement of manual testing, the testing which is a not repetitive, in that case we can go ahead with the manual testing, like ad hoc request, a small part of feature being tested, and which cannot be automated. Those things we can do by manual testing. Like as I said, the automation is very important, but automation cannot be done 100%. There should be a manual testing always done. There is no way that we can 100% minimize the manual testing. Still industries, if even if they have automation testers, they have at least few manual testers working for them, which are needed to do such type of tasks, to get the feedback, to have the work on the ad hoc request. Also every like with the automation, with the automation there is a limitations also, like certain type of softwares only we can automate. So those softwares which cannot be automated, that also needs to be manual. So it goes hand in hand. But to make our life easier, we need to do this evolution, we need to go ahead, we need to adapt for the change, and we need to learn the technologies. And so I hope till now everyone is trying to understand what I am trying to explain, or everyone is able to connect. Now, yeah, so in the previous slide itself, we already learned why automation, why it is required, but I'll just throw some light on it again. Fast. So as why it is fast? Because if there are number of tasks which are repetitive and which are being done by the software, so amount of time taken by the complex task, for example, take an example of complex task. So any human, whenever he tries to work on the complex task, there is a tendency that it could take some time. But when it comes from the software systems, it will be automatically becoming fast. So also as it has less chance of error, so that's why it's always reliable, which gives a customer satisfaction, and which is efficient always. Again, suppose if we define some process at the start, if we have developed some amount of code, there is always chance that that code you can reuse in another features, another functions, another testing, everywhere actually, because it's nothing like you have developed something at the start and you cannot use it, but you have to design it likewise, you can use it and reuse it again and again, and which makes your code more readable. As we already said, as it is a more reliable, it automatically increases the accuracy of software, and which automatically builds the quality product. Yes, it of course saves the time and money because less people intervention is needed. It is being done by there are processes like you can schedule a job and go to sleep, all the execution will be done, and at the morning you can just see the results, so automatically saves the time. um, and yes, there is a one part, if you guys may already know, that is called regression testing or smoke testing. So regression testing is basically whenever new feature is developed, checking the old functionality is working or not. So this is repetitive task, right? Always we are adding something to the product. So checking the previous functionality is a headache or kind of a repetitive job. So such type of test cases or such type of scenarios are done by the automation along with the sum testing. Suppose there is a one feature and you always need to make sure that the main functionality, the main features of the product should be always work fine. So whenever new so in every sprint or every period of time we need to check such functionality. So that is also a repetitive task, so that could be done with the automation, which makes the job of everyone again easier, and that will be less prone to the mistake. Okay, so this is all about the why automation. Yeah, now before jumping to the Selenium, I would like to tell you that it's always not Selenium. There are chances that you need to use different type of tool, and there are different type of tool into the market. There is a Tosca, there is HPLM, and now everyone is hearing speaking about the Chat GPT, which is coming in, which can automate the Selenium itself. So again, there are changes, but why Selenium? Selenium is basically the main important aspect of why Selenium, that is open source. No one loves to buy a product, right? No one loves the licensed product. Whatever coming that is free, everyone loves that. So that's why Selenium is widely used. Also, whenever Selenium is connected with another some libraries or being the feature, another feature being used into the Selenium automation, it automatically makes Selenium more richer, more feasible, more efficient. That's why Selenium. So, and Selenium basically works with the web automation only. The Windows based application we cannot automate with the Selenium. So, and as now we are we are using the web-based application. That's why Selenium. Also, Selenium helps with the mobile automation, which is a major part, and that's why Selenium. So the first and foremost thing is it is open source, available on internet. They have their official website, seleniumhq.org.com. From there you can get whatever needed from the initial setup, that the Selenium jars and the web drivers for the every browser, whichever the needed, you can directly download. If you have setup done on your system right now, also you can start setting up, and it will happen in a certain period of time if you know the how to do that and start learning about the Selenium. So it's that easy. And one more benefit I'll tell you, no one will actually mentions into the list, is that as Selenium is a widely used tool, there is a vast amount of knowledge available onto the internet. You go and search Selenium, you will get tremendous amount of videos, tremendous amount of tutorials to learn. It's a very easy to find if you are stuck in like in day-to-day life. Suppose you are working on something, you got stuck, so that is also you can go and search onto the internet, and freely all the solutions are available. There are plenty of GitHub repositories publicly available that you can directly check out into your system and start working on, start practicing on. So that's why Selenium. Along with that, in technical aspects, there are more benefits, that Selenium supports browser testing. Selenium, as so shown in the image, there are 5-6 browser around the Selenium, right? So Selenium has supported driver for the every browser that given into the image, whatever being used by the people or the human across. So that's why it makes a more famous. Also, the Selenium automation could be run on any type of system, be it a Mac, be it a Linux, be it a Windows, be it a Ubuntu, and like see, everyone don't have the knowledge of the same language. Suppose I know Java and Python better, the another person would know the Ruby or C# better, or the JavaScript better. So that is also feasibility provided by the Selenium. It can be integrated with the any type of language. You just need to have that language specification installed on your system and integrated with your automation framework, and it could work. It can work easily. And with the Selenium, you can do you can manipulate with your frameworks. You can have extra features added. You can make it very streamlined. So that's why Selenium. Okay, so that is about the Selenium. And before that, I'd like to tell you, like whenever the requirement comes and the project start, it's not like that. Even if it is a web application, it's not like that you will always go and choose the Selenium as a tool. First of all team needs to sit. They need to understand what is the requirement, what needs to be done. Only few features are needs to be tested, then why anyone will use the Selenium automation? Only if the repetitive tasks are involved, if repetitive testing is required, if the period of project is more longer than usual, if it is a big product, if it needs to thoroughly tested every time, that time the Selenium will be chosen for the web application testing, for the web app testing. So it works that way. So it's not like directly jumping onto the Selenium. It has to be firstly discussed, sat together, and then decided. Moving forward, so till now what we learn is like, till now we have selected a tool. Assume that now we are going to do the web application testing, and now we have selected a Selenium as a tool. So what next? What next is basically, you need to understand your product inside, the requirement, and according to that you need to define your scope, like till what you need to go, how much things you need to be covered. And then obviously it comes with a lot of planning, designing, and the development of scripts. So development of scripts means not the development task that developer performs. The development of script means starting to automate the manual test cases, starting to work, starting to coding. So that is the third phase. And then once the development is done, that will be moved to the execution phase. And that again, if it is failing, as feature tend to change, obviously execution will fail, and obviously it comes with the maintenance. So first, tool selection, defining the scope, planning, development, maintenance, execution, and maintenance. These are, in these 5 phases, Selenium automation will always move around with every new feature, with every new scenario, with every new user story, with every new task. The people who are working, be it a developer, be it a tester, be it a business analyst, they will move around this. Okay. Hope everyone is trying to catch me up or relating to me. Okay, let's now. So till now we have decided, like we have defined the strategy, we have decided to. So let's get to know more about the Selenium. So the Selenium team, the official team, as I mentioned, they have their official website. They have done changes in their approach as well. Like, so the initial requirement, when they launched it, it was different, and it has evolved from Selenium version 1, 2, 3 to 4. Now currently there is a latest version of Selenium available into the market, which is 4. Always there has been some features added, and it has made more usable to the public. So from in the phase of evolution from phase 1 to phase 4, the components of Selenium has been also, some got added, some got removed. Okay, so at the Selenium version 1, there was IDE, RC, and WebDriver. IDE is still there, RC is deprecated. And IDE is not basically a programming interface. It was just the plugin added into the browser. So job of IDE was basically just to play and record. Just take an example of simple website, that is a flight booking. So whenever users goes there, and if the ID on that browser is enabled, what it will do, whatever actions performed by user, it will record, and whenever that job is done, it has capacity to play back whatever was done by the user and to generate the scripts from that. So in this, there is a no programming skill required. But the drawback of this is it is not more feasible. It's not like whatever your requirement, you are not creating it. Only the actions are being captured. It could not have the long-term or efficient impact on your testing. So ID is no longer being used. So in my career of 7 years, I never used ID, I never used RC. Those are kind of outdated stuff in the version 1, version 2 of the Selenium. And RC is basically a remote control which was automatically controlling the actions of the browser, and it had mostly the maintenance support, widely used on different languages, but as it was too slow, so it has been moved out or deprecated. So there is nothing related to the RC present into the market. It is just for the introduction part, like I am letting you know how this Selenium has been evolved and what were the components of it. Now next is the Selenium WebDriver. Okay, so this is as I say, the Selenium WebDriver is the heart of Selenium. Okay, so Selenium WebDriver is basically everything is everything is directed by the Selenium WebDriver. It has its own programming interface. Selenium WebDriver itself is an interface using which we can use the WebDrivers if you know the Java, you would have been know the what is interface, what is classes. So we can use the interfaces, classes, functions, whatever they are provided into the WebDriver, we can use them directly. We don't need to write it again and again. So WebDriver is a very rich component of the Selenium automation framework that has to be called whenever we are doing the automation. And okay, it actually the Selenium WebDriver is the communication way to the browser. There is a one middle part as well, which is called locators, where WebDriver informs the locator how to communicate with the web browser. So it is basically actions being passed from the WebDriver to the browser. I'll show you that by one. Try to draw one image and we'll try to show. Before that, we will just cover the Selenium grid as well. So Selenium grid is again we can say one extra feature added, which makes the WebDriver more richer than what it is earlier. It explains you that it gives you the capacity to do the parallel execution at the same time, so which automatically saves the time again. And distributed testing is possible with the Selenium grid, and on multiple browser, multiple machines sitting here, you can run it on servers as well. So that's how the Selenium works. So I'll just try to explain you by one image. Can anyone just confirm me if you see the paint window? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see the paint window?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'll try how the WebDriver communicates with the browser. I'll just try to explain with the image. So my paint skills are not that much great, but just try and. So at one end, there is a WebDriver. At one end, there is a browser or application under test. You can say that is a AUT, whatever the application we are testing. And at the middle of it, there is a one component which is called as
Still
Locator.
PPT is visible, Ankita.
Ma'am, it is not visible.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's not visible.
Okay,
It's only
okay.
our PowerPoint is visible.
Okay, I'll try. Sure. Okay, now do you see the pen screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you for the confirmation. Okay, so on the left side, there is a web driver, which is a driving force from our automation framework. At the right side, there is a browser or any application, which is we are testing. So web driver uh, tells Selenium tells WebDriver to perform some actions, and those actions are gone from locators to the browser, which is an end point of our framework. Okay, so, what are the locators that we are going to see into the next screen? So now just try to understand that locator is the middle layer, which is trying to communicate the WebDriver to the browser. So what are the locators that I'll show you into the Google as well? Is Google visible? Just I'm trying to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's
Okay. So
Yes.
Google is one web application, right? So what are the locators into that application? See, behind the front end, there is always a back end. In any web application, the backend is HTML document that we call as the elements, and which is called basically DOM, that is document object model. So every element on that web page has some locator. So if I hover on this point, you are seeing the search bar, right? So this is the locator of that point. This is the locator of that search point. So when we give the address of that locator to the WebDriver, it is easy to WebDriver to communicate with the Google and perform any sort of action. Getting my point?
ID
So,
you are telling as the locator?
yes, correct. ID equal to input, it will be the locator of this point. So there are different techniques. If you see, there are button, these are like basically tags and attribute. So every element on this page will have different locators, different strategies to find the locator, and there are different strategies already given by Selenium in how many ways you can find the locator. So those 8 we will going to try and see into the next screen. But I hope you have understood what is the DOM, how we can locate any element. It's just the go to that element, whatever you are trying to find the locator for, right click, and you will find that element. It's that easy. Okay. And now coming back to the paint again, if we have opened it, we will just try to see what is grid as well. Okay, Selenium grid. So Selenium grid is basically hub node kind of structure, which will let you do the cross-platform testing on different platform, different machines. Okay, so this is your hub or the master machine or your server. So only even if the test cases or your framework is not on server, you can your machine somewhere, like suppose let's try to understand. You are working here, which is your machine. Work is developed onto this machine. So if you instruct your machine to connect to the hub, it can be done like through the, already the how to connect with the client server connections, how to do the color. And suppose there are some other hubs which are connecting to the master, that are the nodes. Okay, node 1, which is basically we can try and understand, like node 1 is a Windows machine, node 2 is Mac machine, then node 3 is Ubuntu machine, and node 4 is the Linux machine. Okay, so whatever the instructions are coming from the master can be further forwarded to the nodes, And if you try to understand on the node 1, as it's a Ubuntu machine, there is some browser, let's say example of the Google Chrome. Second is the Mac, so let's say it has the Safari. Third is the Linux machine, which has the Firefox. And last is the what we missed, that other machine which has something else, like Chrome again. Okay, so at the same time, you can run your test cases on the different nodes. That is the functionality of the Selenium grid, basically. So it allows you to do hub and node setup, and it allows you to do the cross-browser testing on the cross-platform. So the grid is really a good feature of the Selenium. Okay, now coming back to, we are back to presentation, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so these are, so just we spoke about the locators, right? So these are different techniques that in these ways you can find your elements, you can find your locators and communicate with the browser. There is a ID, which is a unique identification actually. So whenever you find the element with the ID, it won't change anytime. So that is a more feasible way. There is a class name. Using the class name you can find the element. There is a XPath, which is being widely used actually because it lets you create your own way of connecting with the browser. So that is widely used. There is a, every software don't have unique IDs or all other things. That's why the XPaths are there. And in XPath also there are different strategies inside that, like you can create your custom XPaths, relative XPath, absolute XPaths, and which makes your job kind of easier. Using the text as well, you can create the XPath. So that's using the attribute names into the HTML document, you can create the locators. Again, using just the tag name, you can do that. If there are hyperlinks on the pages, you can use the link text and partial link text as well. Also, the CSS selector element, that is style or the positioning of the elements onto the page, that is the X and Y coordinates. Using that also, you can create the locator. CSS selector is a bit of less used into the applications. So mostly use the mainly XPath, ID, and classes. And link tests are limited to the hyperlinks, and that's why link tests and partial link tests are used into that case only. So these are main 8 locator techniques which are being provided, through which the WebDriver, which has the setup, can be communicated with the browser and your action can be performed. Okay. Now we have learned about the bit of the Selenium. So let's see how you can do the installation. So basic requirement, you need to have one machine with the minimum requirement of memory. It could be of any type of operating system. Then okay, so first we need to know that before moving to the Selenium, you always need to have the basic knowledge of any object-oriented programming language. That is, if you consider the Java, at least from the OOPS concept to how to operate, how to write the function, how to write the classes, to you need to have the knowledge of collections of also thoroughly. So basic.
For more videos, download our app from Play Store.